All right, so let's get started with this tactical analysis video. And of course, the first thing we're going to look at is this extremely disappointing set-piece goal that we have conceded in the second minute. Now, of course, Manchester United right now use a hybrid system. You know, a mixture of zonal marking and man marking when it comes to defending corners. And this is not a Ruben Amorim system. This is actually an Erik ten Hag system. And I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on that in a minute. But basically, we can see the zones right here where you have 6 Manchester United players who are tasked to mark the zone. And of course, 2 Manchester United players, in this case, Lisandro Martinez and Kobbie Mainoo, who are man marking Yates and Milenkovic, with of course Ahmad and Garnacho being fast and tricky. They are there to provide threats in the counters, okay? So that we can actually break away with pace. Now, already just by looking at this setup right here, you can see that it is not as optimized as it could be, okay? So here we have 6 Manchester United players here in the zone for just 3 Nottingham Forest players. And I'm going to show you later how even that is not actually enough. And then, of course, here the choice of Kobbie Mainoo and Lisandro Martinez is, in my opinion, not the right choice of personnel because, of course, what happened in this zone has been absolutely horrendous. So let's have a quick, deeper look into that. So obviously, Lisandro Martinez and Kobbie Mainoo marking 2 massive threats. I mean, Milenkovic is like your typical, you know, tough as nails Serbian centre back, really strong, really physical, and good in the air. And then Yates is pretty much a Scott McTominay type of player. I mean, why? Why Kobbie Mainoo and Lisandro Martinez? And then what we see here is that originally Kobbie Mainoo was on Milenkovic and then Lisandro Martinez was on Yates, but then they had smart movement that, of course, our players could not follow through with that. I think Lisandro Martinez does have a defensive instinct. However, you don't want him in set pieces marking the tallest player in the opposition team. With Kobbie Mainoo, I've talked about him a lot in the past, especially last season, where I really love him as a player. You know, in open play, he's excellent. He's an outstanding youngster. However, in set pieces, he's not a good player when it comes to man marking because he doesn't have that instinct, that defensive instinct. He doesn't have that determination and that aggression that allows him to just, you know, win aerial duels. And so why? To me, this just seems like an afterthought. So here is my reading of the situation here with Amorim, because this is not an Amorim system. Sporting Lisbon and the Ruben Amorim, they don't defend corners this way. So he came in, and I think him and his staff had to prioritize because they didn't have much time. He talked about it in press conferences where he said that he just wants to get on with his job and just work in the training pitch with his players. So I think they're prioritizing open play, patterns, you know, the phases, defensive phase, attacking phase, and transitions, the actual shape of the team, what do we do with the ball, etc. Rather than actually focusing on set pieces, it was more of a case of, guys, just keep doing what you were doing under the old regime. But I think now after the game against Arsenal and this one, he definitely will have to kind of give this a little more attention, because the choice of these players, in my opinion, you could take Ugarte and Dalot, for example, and put them in these roles right here. To me, they would have been much more effective than Lisandro Martinez and Mainoo. And Lisandro Martinez, on the other hand, could actually, him and Mainoo just kind of mark, you know, the near post and the far post to make sure that every time there is a loose ball, both of them are quite agile and quick. So they have quick reaction time. I think they could have been much better suited to that role than this one that has been assigned to them. So yeah, this was really a poor goal for us to concede. And also here's the thing, despite having all of our players in the box, there are only 5 Nottingham Forest players in the box. And even here, with all the players that we have, effectively double the amount of players they have, Jota Silva was free. That means that even if Milenkovic did not hit the target and it went straight into this wide area, Jota would have scored. So again, our corners, the way we defend corners, a lot of people have been focused after the game against Arsenal on Arsenal itself. But no, I think that we are also poor. Not many people have talked about how poorly we defended those set pieces as well. And this was another example of poorly defended set piece. Now let's talk about what actually happened on the pitch in open play. And a lot of the viewers, I suppose, this is just an assumption, but I mean, I used to be like that as well. When you watch Manchester United games, you're watching it mainly for entertainment, for the entertainment value that they bring. And so mainly you would focus on our players when they have the ball. What is it that they're going to do with it? But of course, I watch football from a different eye, okay, from a different angle. Basically, I look at what the opposition is doing, because it's always easy to criticize our players. And of course, I believe that our players should do better. But performances are not in a vacuum, guys. It's not just what you want to do and then you can just assert your dominance and assert your will on the opposition. No, the opposition is, of course, providing a sort of a resistance. And so looking at that resistance as much as looking at our own performance is just as important. And so here what we have is Ugarte, and Kobbie Mainoo, of course, was not good in this aspect, trying to get the ball in behind this shield that the Nottingham Forest players have created. Basically, they are preventing verticality. So by doing that, they're preventing our midfielders, Kobbie Mainoo and Ugarte, from getting on the ball. Therefore, it's harder for us to actually get the ball to the final third, where we can actually start causing Nottingham Forest some problems. And this is the danger zone, of course. But of course, this is what led to our goal. And Bruno Fernandes is, of course, going to be instrumental. As you can see, Yoro, De Ligt, and Lisandro Martinez were struggling to get the ball, through this screen into the central area. We could not have verticality, therefore we could not create chances. However, of course, this is going to step in Bruno Fernandes, who just comes in with this sequence right here. He steps in to receive the ball, and then a flick into the path of Ugarte means that this whole structure right here has been bypassed, and now we can get the ball into the danger zone where Nottingham Forest are not well organized. Here, credit to Garnacho, very good anticipation, and he makes the right run for Ugarte to pick him up. And also here, one thing that is underrated is, of course, the run of Højlund, who is moving into the box, into this area. That's where a number 9 should be. And then Ugarte, perfect pass. A lot of people just see him as a pure destroyer, but I believe that he has a little more to offer than that. And then the ball comes in. Højlund is in the right situation to score the goal, and that's it. Goal. Now, this is the fool me once, shame on you part. But quickly after this goal, Nottingham Forest were able to reorganize themselves, and they were able to just learn and adapt. And so, fool me twice, shame on you, that actually never happened, because we could not fool them twice. Now, guys, before I move on to how Nottingham Forest kind of nullified any threat that we had through the middle, just want to remind you guys, if you like this channel, if you want to be supportive of Scarlet Report, please make sure that you like the video. I know I don't have any footage of any cute puppies or otters or baby dinosaurs or whatever. I'm sure I'm going to have one for you next time. But guys, I really appreciate all the support you've shown the channel until this point. Please just make sure that you like the video before you go. Okay, so after this, Nottingham Forest adapted. Nuno Espirito Santo is a very good tactical organizer. He's a very good coach who really can get his team to play the way he wants and to nullify the strengths of the opposition. And here we're going to see what they are doing and some of the adjustments that they are doing. So here Chris Wood, instead of just going and attacking the center backs, he's attacking them lightly but then dropping quickly to make sure that Ugarte and Mainoo don't have a lot of space on the ball. And also, Bruno Fernandes is being marked by either Yates or Anderson all the time. And as you can see, they still keep that shape, and then we have no way of going through the middle. But here, this sequence right here is a great example of how to press as a team without compromising your defensive structure. Look at this. So here, Wood is kind of looking over his shoulder, trying to anticipate the run that Hudson-Odoi and Ugarte are going to make, the kind of positioning that they're going to take. As the ball goes towards Yoro, Hudson-Odoi goes aggressively towards Yoro, and then Wood, instead of staying wide here, he goes towards Ugarte because otherwise Yoro would be able to find him. Great piece of movement, and that's not all. As the ball actually comes to Diallo and is making its way back to our defenders, Morgan Gibbs-White is making a move towards De Ligt, and to adapt to that, Jota Silva is making a move towards Mainoo to make sure again that we cannot move the ball centrally. They don't care if Lisandro Martinez gets the ball. It's the central areas that they care about. And this is just great. This is just great defending. And then they can keep that screen shape that they've been having for most of the game. And now here we do have another example. So again, Ugarte. This has been the one consistent theme throughout the game. Ugarte trying to find spaces in midfield. Mainoo did not move enough. You gotta move, boy. A player as technically gifted as you has to be on the ball often. But anyway, what I love about this is that Nottingham Forest, not only do they have a screen in front of us preventing the passes, but also they do have players like Murillo, the left-handed centre-back, and Yates over here, just acting as hounds. Look at them. They're not tightly marking any of our players, but they're just waiting for that moment to pounce. And this is just great coaching from Nuno Espirito Santo. Look at that. And so basically their goal is to just prevent us from receiving the ball into these areas. They are preventing us to play in the half spaces and play in between the lines, because that's where we can be dangerous. That's where we can create chances. And here is another example again. Bruno Fernandes, that screen again, but then Bruno Fernandes tightly marked by Anderson over here. Of course, the only thing he can do is get back. And here you can see Bruno Fernandes' frustration. He's pointing to someone. I don't know who he's talking to. Maybe Højlund, maybe Garnacho. But basically what he's saying is that, guys, we need to be in these central areas because that's how we can create chances. But of course, that's what Manchester United wanted to do. But that's not what Nottingham Forest were prepared to let them do. And that's what I love about football tactics, okay? So again, Bruno Fernandes just trying to find that space. Our midfielders, Ugarte and Kobe Mainu, could not get on the ball often enough. And then here, Bruno Fernandes, just look how tightly marked he's by Anderson. Look at that. Looks like, Blanca from Street Fighter or Iori from King of Fighters. This is just amazing. And I know I'm a Manchester United fan and I want my team to win. But also, credit where credit is due. Nottingham Forest, a lot of people forget that they are the only team that have beaten Liverpool in the league this season. So those kind of performances don't fall from the sky. So again, in this game, they played really well. And I think that the Manchester United players have tried. I think we should have tried better. I think our players are definitely better, player for player, man for man, than the Nottingham Forest players. But for some reason, it didn't work. And the main reason it didn't work is because Nottingham Forest were pretty well organized and they were determined and quite aggressive with how they restricted the space that our flair players like Bruno Fernandes could exploit. Well, this defeat can be attributed to three main factors. The first one is, of course, our lack of preparedness when dealing with set pieces. The second one is, of course, how organized Nottingham Forest were tactically and how able they were to adapt and restrict the spaces that we could exploit through the middle. And, of course, the third one, mistakes. Oh, mistakes. When are we going to learn? Okay? But, of course, I cannot talk too much about mistakes because otherwise this video is going to turn into a rant. I have so much to say about that, but I'm going to bite my tongue. However, I'm going to say this. These mistakes, they're like a tornado. It just comes in and destroys, 40%, 50% of the progress you've made. It's one step forward, two steps back. And we can never be serious as a team. We can never challenge for those massive competitions, the Premier League and the Champions League, if we keep making mistakes like these. Mistakes have been holding us back for so many seasons. And it comes from all the players. All of our players have committed mistakes. Massive mistakes like the ones we've seen yesterday. When is that going to change? And until that changes, it doesn't matter who is the manager at the helm. It doesn't matter what system we play. It doesn't matter what new concepts, what new tactical concepts we apply. Data, analysis, everything. None of that is going to matter if we keep making stupid schoolboy mistakes like the ones we've seen yesterday. So anyway, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this tactical analysis video despite the result and the massively disappointing result. But if you did, please, again, give the video a thumbs up and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Until next time, cheers.